Malawi has spoken loudly and decisively. President Lazarus Chakwera, once hailed as the man who restored faith in democracy after the annulled 2019 election, has just been voted out after only one term. His replacement, none other than his old rival, 85-year-old Peter Mutharika, who has staged one of the most unlikely political comebacks in African history. The same Mutharika whom Chakwera humiliated in 2020 now returns with a landslide of nearly 2/3 of the vote. This is not just a Malawian story. It's a warning to every African leader sitting on shaky promises. As of September 18th, with more than 80% of constituency reporting, unofficial tallies showed Chakwera at just 33%. His challenger, Peter Mutharika of the Democratic Progressive Party, was cruising with around 65%. Dalitso Kabambe of the UTM trailed far behind at about 6%. The scale of defeat is staggering. No runoff needed. For Chakwera, it's the end of the road after 5 turbulent years. For Mutharika, it's redemption at 85.
This is actually something that happens once every 5 years, and then the people continue to languish in poverty.
Chakwera's presidency began with soaring expectations. He promised to create 1 million jobs in his first year, fight corruption and rescue Malawi's fragile economy. Instead, inflation ballooned past 27%, foreign reserves collapsed, and fuel shortages became routine. Food insecurity spread, leaving millions vulnerable. Symbolically, $100,000 bridge collapsed under its first vehicle, a metaphor for his government's fragile credibility. Critics say his administration never moved beyond speeches and promises. Even his supporters admitted progress, like reviving passenger trains after 30 years and commissioning new roads, was too little too late. By 2025, frustration boiled over, with 70% of Malawians living under $2 a day. Patience snapped.
So those who have been given jobs to help the president must start working, because people who send a message, they are already sending a message. You have seen what is happening across in Malawi. For fuel shortages and power shortages, people are being voted out.
Peter Mutharika's comeback is nothing short of dramatic. In 2020, after the court annulled his disputed 2019 victory, Chakwera beat him convincingly with 59% of the vote. Many thought Mutharika was finished, but 5 years later, voters preferred his familiar if controversial leadership over Chakwera's broken promises. Chakwera is a reverend. He loves to pray. He loves to attend church services. He donates money to churches.
So one time somebody, at that time I started campaigning, and then somebody says, what if you are not elected president? Are you going to go back to ministry? I said, no, you're misunderstanding. I didn't leave ministry. This is ministry.
Amen. Amen.
At 85, Mutharika embodies a deeper African paradox, gerontocracy versus pragmatism. Is this about trust in experience, or is it a desperate return to the past? Either way, Malawians chose stability over sermons.
I had struggled sometimes with, what God was saying to me. Pastor, I want you to pastor the nation.
Chakwera now joins a growing list of African leaders shown the exit after a single term. From Nigeria's Muhammadu Buhari to Senegal's Macky Sall, electorates are enforcing accountability in a continent long dominated by presidents for life.
Hey, sir. Good morning, sir. And welcome to Kenya. Karibu sana. Welcome.
Afrobarometer surveys reveal over 75% of Africans want strict 2-term limits. That demand is beginning to reshape politics. Contrast Malawi with countries like Uganda or Equatorial Guinea, where leaders cling to power for 4 decades. The message is clear. African voters are no longer patient with empty promises, regardless of party or liberation credentials. Chakwera's defeat resonates beyond Malawi. For leaders navigating economic crisis, political scandal, and growing youth discontent, the election is a warning shot. Broken promises now carry an electoral cost.
Somebody one term. Ataenda one term. Sema one term. Wewe William Ruto. Wewe Kasongo. Wewe muuaji. Wewe mwizi. Wewe Kasongo.
Na huyu rais atachaguliwa na vitendo. Huyu amewaambia nitafanya hii na hii. Kwa afya nitafanya hii. Kwa manyumba ya kujenga nitafanya hii, housing. Kufanya Kenya ikuwe full security nitafanya hii. Kwa usalama nitafanya hii. Kwa elimu nitafanya hii. Kwa uchumi nitafanya hii. Mkamchagua. Ikifika wakati wa kura, nyinyi ndio mtasahihisha hiyo mtihani. Na hakuna mtihani inaitwa Ruto must go. Hakuna mtihani katika manifesto yetu ambayo inasema one term. Tunataka
Meanwhile, Mutharika's victory exposes the contradictions of African democracy. Voters rejected Chakwera's failures but rewarded a former leader with his own baggage. This suggests a political culture where frustration overrides long-term vision. The electorate is punishing incumbency more than corruption. Reverend Lazarus Chakwera came to power preaching change. 5 years later, Malawians decided summons weren't enough and you can keep your prayers in your closet. His defeat underscores a continental reality. Term limits are surviving, but leaders who fail to deliver won't survive their electorates. Peter Mutharika's return at 85 is both ironic and instructive. It raises questions. Is Africa recycling old leaders because of weak alternatives, or are voters simply prioritizing familiarity over experimentation? Either way, Malawi's 2025 election is a reminder on this continent democracy is not dead. It is messy, unforgiving, and alive. What do you think? Should other countries like Kenya go the Malawi way?
Ruto ni fire si fire. Ni fire si fire. Ni noma si noma. Two term si two term.
Sasa mimi nataka niwaulize, si mmesikia mtu mwingine tapeli anasema ati atakuja kusimamisha hii affordable housing? Ni mjinga si mjinga? Ni mshenzi si mshenzi? Ni mpumbavu si mpumbavu? Ni mjinga zaidi.
Drop your comments. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Bushabi Junior.